All right, I know, another Google video, and I promise this one isn't as dark and depressing as the last one was. This one is more so about something decently good that Google is deciding to do instead of, stealing all of our data. They're still doing that. Don't forget about that. Check that video out wherever the hell you need to check it out. But they are doing something that I think is genuinely better for the community of gamers, community of computing enthusiasts. I don't know what we call ourselves anymore, but just generally good for the tech community in general. How many times can I say in general? Let's get on to the video. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Google Chrome, the browser, has essentially been creating beta and alpha tests for an ARM version of Windows. Now, there are obviously ARM versions of Google Chrome out there. Chromebooks are a perfect example. Android is a perfect example. Everything that's running on a newer Mac OS is an ARM version of the Chrome browser, but this one is specifically for Windows on ARM. For those of you who do not know what ARM is, it's a different type of operating system architecture that runs way lighter than your average x86 architectures. I do not know how to explain x86 and ARM to you in a way that you will understand it, so there are plenty of videos to go check out on the internet. But long story short, x86 is pretty archaic nowadays. It's been around from some of the oldest days of computing, and it's really heavy on battery life. It's really heavy and requires more system resources. And at the end of the day, ARM is kind of where the rest of the market is going. It's where most of our mobile devices run off of. Apple has been kind of running it on their Mac OS operating system for a while now with their M1, 2, and 3 chips. And at the end of the day, I think the world is starting to position itself more towards ARM, especially for the lower end and mid-range users of computers, because at the end of the day, they just don't need the horsepower. What they do need is a operating system that will run on their phone and have an all-day battery life, something that is quick and easy and snappy to use, but also doesn't drain their battery, doesn't require so many system resources, and can be a little bit cheaper and more affordable for the average user. And that is what makes this development for Google Chrome for Windows on ARM a little bit better, because Windows can finally start getting into the race of ARM architectures and making it a more realistic option for people who want to develop for Windows on ARM and other things like that. Do I think Windows on ARM is going to become something like macOS nowadays, where it's going to be immediately adopted by a lot of people? There's a lot of development that needs to go in to something like a Windows on ARM, in my opinion, because there are things like gamers, programmers. I don't think there's going to be a huge market for it. The reason a lot of people like x86 is because it can utilize the horsepower of a lot more powerful system resources like my PC that I have here. I could never run on ARM because I need a lot of power that a lot of these components aren't going to be compatible with. And so moving towards ARM will allow for development of those things. Do I think we're ready for a full transition to Windows on ARM yet? No. But it being an option and it having things like Google Chrome and other softwares will be extremely important. The biggest thing that I think will next start changing the way that we think of ARM computing is how compatible gaming will be going forward. It will be interesting to see different CPUs and GPUs that will be developed for gaming consoles and for SteamOS and Linux-based ARM architectures, so that we can just start developing for that and start developing compatibility for gaming in that way. It's always been a main driver of how operating systems develop, and obviously you need professional softwares to go in with that, whether it's video editing and photo and film and all that jazz, or just coding and audio development and things like that. There need to be more professional uses for ARM, and I think, yes, having Google Chrome be developed for another subset of ARM is extremely important, but I don't think it's super revolutionary. So I think this will hopefully push Windows on ARM to be a little bit more interesting for your average consumer. I just don't feel like people like me or gamers or anything like that will continue to purchase anything but the x86 version of our favorite OSs because of the power that we need. Let me know what you guys think about this transition in the comment section down below. I know it was a little bit heavy of a video. I hope I put enough good resources in the links above to, make you understand it a little bit better, because I sure as fuck can't explain it. But like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.